On this short video, I want to mention one interesting idea about a certain word in this week's Parsha, in this week's reading, in Chai Sarah, and that is when Eliezer comes to Syria to find a wife for Yitzchak. It says, Vayavrech, he did what? What's this word exactly? Vayavrech, the camels. One might be tempted to think that this word is the same as Vay'varech that we say, for instance, in the morning prayers, Vayavrech David et Hashem. It's a verse in Divrei Yamim. David blessed Hashem. We're certainly familiar with that word. Brocha, bracha, and the various verbs that come from it. But it's not true. It obviously has nothing to do with bracha, with the camels. And the word, right, a lot depends on the vowels, which are of course part of oral tradition in the written Torah, in the manuscript of Torah, the Sefer Torah. There are no vowels. Everything is part of the oral law. So the specific vowels of this word are pointing to the completely different root here that has to do with knees. Vayavrech means he put the camel down on its knees. Now the camel has two kind of knees, two places, I'm not sure if it should be called joints, two places where the leg can bend. Rashbam and his Kuni talk about it, and of course it's based on the Talmud in Masechet Chulin, in Tractate Chulin, that discusses that what in a cow it's inside the stomach, the first part where the leg bends, but in the camel you could see both parts, what is equivalent in a human being to a knee and to the heel, two parts of the leg where we can bend it. So in the camel, it's both looks like knees, kind of. So when it lays down in sort of two steps, kind of puts its legs under itself in order to drink. So of what importance are all these details? Well, first of all, there are a lot of places in the both Tanakh and prayers where people might make a mistake between the two meanings. The meaning of blessing, bracha, and the meaning of knee, right? The berech is a knee. That's a biblical word, and we even have prayers that are based on certain biblical verses. For instance, a verse from Yeshayahu is a base for this prayer in Aleinu. Ki lecha tichra kol berech. To you will kneel every knee. So how do you know when it's knee and when it's blessing? The person who is not familiar with grammar, and I suspect that most people today, not just Balei Tshuva like me, but people who even were born in a religious family and got Jewish education from early childhood, they still don't really know, most people, unless they have special interest in grammar, most people are not familiar with Dikduk. Today it's not a specifically very widely studied subject. It used to be, in the times of Rishonim, a far more sought after topic, and Rishonim were very much investing a lot of their time, Ibn Ezra, Rashi, earlier grammarians, but today it's not particularly a hot topic, and most Orthodox Jews are not really very familiar with grammar. So I'll give you an example of a mistake that I used to make when I just became religious. This was almost 30 years ago. I used to think that the word we say in Kabbalat Shabbat, in Kabbalat Shabbos, when we read the 6 Psalms, kineged the 6 days of the week, right? And the first of them is 95th Psalm, and it says, "Wo nishtach nichra," and one of the words there, nivrecha. So with a little knowledge of grammar I used to have, I thought this is also bless Hashem Elokeinu, our God. But it turns out that this is also actually Lifnei Hashem Oseinu, the verse says, bless, as I thought, before Hashem who made us. It sort of made sense to me, but grammatically it's wrong. What it means is kneel, right? It's really all three words are somewhat related, they're almost synonyms. Let us prostrate ourselves, bow, and kneel before God our Maker. That's the correct translation. Nivrecha here is also from the word berech, the knee, not from the word bracha, blessing. What's really interesting is in some cases there are actually disputes between even the early commentators. Which word can mean blessing and which word can mean kneeling, or even other meanings that are related to this meaning of berech and Vayavrech in our case, right, when he made the camels kneel. So if you look in Rashbam on Parshat Lech Lecha in the beginning, and similarly Chizkuni, now Rashbam in most regular editions of Chumash starts with Parshat Vay'varech, but later they found parts of Rashbam to the previous Parshiyot. Rashbam was the son of Rashi, Rabbi Shmuel ben Meir, a grandson, of Rashi. Rashi didn't have sons, he only had daughters, and Rabbi Shmuel ben Meir was one of the grandsons of Rashi, one of the more famous ones. The most famous grandson of Rashi was Rabbeinu Tam, his brother of Rashbam. And Rashbam, Rabbi Shmuel ben Meir, was older brother of Rabbeinu Tam, Rabbi Yaakov Tam. So Rashbam's commentary now exists to Parshat Lech Lecha as well, and he writes there, and he writes in other places too the same way, in later similar usage of the Torah, and that is when it says V'nivrechu bicha kol mishpachot ha'adama. All the Avram is given this blessing. God gives Avram the blessing that all the families of the earth will be blessed through you. Right? That's how everybody seems to understand it. But Rashbam says no. This word does not come from the word bracha. It comes from a word similar to our case, and the meaning actually, it's not that the people kneel. It's in this case it's something else, but it's related to this meaning. How does it work? So there is a word which the Talmud uses a lot when they make a plant produce another plant through the following method. They bend it into the earth, and it comes. It takes root in the earth, and the second plant grows. It's somewhat similar to grafting. A lot of times the two words go together in Mishnayot. For instance, hamarkiv v'hamavrich. So the mavrich is this procedure, kind of kneeling the plant so it comes out as a second plant. So this is the meaning according to Rashbam and Chizkuni, that all the families of the earth will be mixed with you, meaning the greatest people, many of the royal families a lot of times converted to Judaism over time and became part of the Jewish people. So the blessing here is not that all the families of the earth will be blessed through you. That also it says in other places in the Torah. But in these psukim specifically, this particular form, according to Rashbam, and he seems to learn it from the fact that there is no dagesh in the letter bet. It's nivrechu, not nibrechu. That's what makes the difference according to him in terms of the meaning. So it's not the blessing meaning, but rather, in this case, mixing. All the families will be mixed through you. So I just thought that this would be an interesting idea that not everybody is aware of. And if you like this video, please press like and please subscribe to our channel.